Okay, just so you know, I'm not completely ignorant, right? I'm gonna start talking about like strange stuff about Leviathan. Um, so I've got here the Moby Dick. This is the, you know, well, it's considered to be one of the greatest books ever written in fiction, and there's a lot of quotes in the beginning of concerning Leviathan. I might just read some of them. This whale's liver was 2 carts. And whereas all the other things, whether beast or vessel, that enter into the dreadful gulp of this monster's whale's mouth, are immediately lost and swallowed up, the sea gudgeon retires into it in great security and there sleeps. The sovereignest thing on earth is Parmacetti for an inward bruise. That was King Henry. And God created great whales. Genesis. Leviathan make a path to shine after him, and one would think the deep to be hoary. The great Leviathan that maketh the seas to seethe like boiling pan. That was Lord Bacon's version of the Psalms. The Indian Sea breedeth the most and the biggest fishes that are, among which the whales and whirlpools called baleinae take up as much in length as 4 acres or our arpens of land. That sea beast, Leviathan, which God of all his works created hugest that swam the ocean stream. Paradise Lost. There Leviathan, hugest of living creatures on the deep, stretched like a promontory, sleeps or swims, and seems a moving land, and at his gills draws in, and at his trunk spouts out a sea. Immense as whales, the notion of whose vast bodies can in a peaceful calm trouble the ocean till it boil. Leviathan. Now, Moby Dick, the reason it's such an important book is it's considered to be an allegory. You know, the whole story is considered to be an allegory, and Leviathan is like the Lord of the world. It's effectively, we're talking about Satan. It's what I've described on the astral plane in the previous video. Although it's talked about as a whale. Don't be deceived. But I know most people will be deceived, but they haven't read Moby Dick probably, and if they have, you haven't read it properly. The reason it's one of the greatest books ever written, is because it's an allegory about Leviathan, and Leviathan is the ruler of the world, and I've just described it in my last video. You know, it's one of those things. You can't really say too much about it, or I could, but I would just be waffle, and it's already been said in here anyway. Just read the fucking Moby Dick and you'll know. And it ain't an easy thing to get your head around. It's not a simple thing. You know, it's a big thing. It's like a whale. You know, and to deal with it is like a real challenge. And it's almost like a stupid thing to do, to try and challenge it. You know, we're told in Job, forget the battle. Don't do. You know, remember the battle, but don't try to fight Leviathan. Just put your hand on it. You know, and remember the battle. You know, and it's dimensions will be shown to you. You know, then you will have peace. This is what we're told, and I'm not going to argue with that. To me, that is the righteous, the true advice from Job. It's about Leviathan. It's about what is the God's presence in the world, and it seems to wear the mask of the devil. It's a very deep thing to get your head around. And there's some interesting stuff I've got to say further about this, but maybe I'll leave that for another video. But there is more.